But my dog is like aggressively humping the bed right now.
Oh,
Not my
good.
bed, but his bed. He's like, so I think he,
Jenny,
yeah.
Jenny, did you read Barbarian Lover out loud to him? Because
Yes, I did. I was like,
that would make
Zeus.
sense.
Well, my dog's
All right.
stupid.
Lock it
Okay,
down, Zeus.
knock it off. And he's like humping, and he doesn't have any balls, so I don't really
But
understand. Well, hello, Jason.
hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
That's amazing. Welcome to the Book Chub podcast wrap up for
Mm-hmm.
our series one, Barbarian Lover
Mm-hmm.
by Ruby Dixon.
That's right.
Do you know where you are right now?
Me personally,
Yeah,
I'm in a good place.
you're in this special place because we know we're together, and that's
That's
what
right.
matters. Well, thank you for going on this journey with me, Jason. So, the purpose of this wrap up today is to basically recap the book,
Yeah.
talk about it a little bit, and like read some awesome reviews and give our own opinions on it. Does that sound like
Yeah.
something you agree to?
Yeah. We have thoughts. We weren't done with Barbarian Lover. We need a little more time
We need a
to
recap. Yep,
to reflect.
exactly. And I am
Mhm.
a reflector because I
Yeah.
am so pale that the sun bounces off my skin.
All
Anyway,
right.
yeah. So Barbarian Lover opens up with our what is it? Heroine? No,
Hmm.
heroine, Kira.
Hmm.
And she's collecting these herbs. Essentially, it's a love story. I don't know if you know this, but if you're just tuning in,
Hmm.
we read romance novels, and this one is about a human lady that is stuck on an ice planet, not Hoth, correct?
Hmm. That's
Yes.
right.
And she is lives in a cave with massive blue men and women
Uh-huh.
that are there to make love
Yeah, they do.
all the humans.
Yep.
So Kira is our main character, and Aehako is her main love interest. And
Hmm.
essentially, I'd like to think that this entire book is based around this one thing, the phalange.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Aehako loves Kira, chases her down, thinks she's really hot, all that stuff. She's ignoring him.
Hmm.
Basically, he presents her with his wiener, his
Hmm.
whittled wiener. She's like, I'm not going to use this. He's like, oh yes, you are. Then green aliens are coming to snatch up the women again. Oh, this is
Hmm.
I'm just, I guess I'm really bad at the book recap, huh?
No, this is working fine. This is
Okay.
all of these things happened.
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Hello. Um, so yeah, so Kira is like, she's kind of over it, but whatever. And then she starts to kind of like flirt with Aehako, and
Hmm.
Kira's got this translator in her brain, and then she's really afraid of the aliens that had previously crash landed on the planet, leaving the human chicks there.
Hmm.
So this is book three in the
Yeah.
series, and we jumped in. We went balls deep
Uh-huh.
on the third series with Aehako and Kira. So a lot of the stuff was like planned before. So I mean, in if I may pause on the entire book recap, I do think,
Yes.
we mentioned it before that we thought it was funny that we were just like in book three, which I agree. It's great. It's like we just jumped right in. But there's some
Jump in.
holes. There's some
Yeah.
holes in the story that I think you might fill.
Oh.
There's some large gaping holes
Huh.
that you might be able to fill tonight, Jason. So
That's right.
yeah. So basically, they crashed. The humans crash landed because they were kidnapped by aliens, green
Mhm.
aliens. They crash landed on the ice planet. Then here we are again. Then Kira has the translator in
Yeah.
her ear, and she's like, "Oh shit, I can hear everybody." She's like, "The green aliens are coming back to get all the humans." They go on this awesome adventure together, Aehako and Kira, a
Hmm.
small team, to find some like a to find the mothership that will
Hmm.
take her translator out of her ear,
Yep.
which she does. And then that's
Hmm.
when they boinky boink, which is the
Yep.
super boinky boink.
That's right. Surgery always, always gets you ready.
Which surgery always gets everyone ready.
That's right.
Sedatives, various secretions of things. You know, I
Huh?
mean, I'm gonna go have surgery now.
Yeah.
No. So, which that one probably has my favorite scene, which is the shower scene with Aehako and
Hmm.
Kira. He's way too big for the shower, which is the main
Yeah.
thing I got from it.
Hmm.
Fast forward, they got to the mothership with their small team of people, Harlow, Aehako, Kira, and
Hayden.
Hayden.
Yeah.
Yes. And then after that,
Hmm.
the aliens come for her. And she's like,
Yep.
what? And then she goes on the ship of the aliens. She's able to talk to them because she downloads all these languages. But then
Right.
she lets off this mega fart, which kills
Hmm.
everybody. And then she, chops off somebody's hand, uses
Hmm.
the hand to get off the ship. Aihako thinks she's dead. And she's like, wait, I'm
Yeah.
not dead. I've got this hand. Then they're like super happy. They head back to the cave. And then they boinky boink some more.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And there's this whole thing called resonation.
Hmm.
They resonate with each other, which is their bodies vibrate.
Right.
Um, then when their bodies vibrate, they hump some more, and then they move to a southern cave, and then Kira gets knocked up, and they're really happy about it. And
Yep.
scene.
Yep. I think you nailed it.
Think so?
Yeah, I do have to bring up one thing that made me laugh, and I think we talked about this earlier today, but
Yes.
in the throughout the first half of the book, they
Mhm.
they talk about these evil green aliens, and of course
Oh,
we didn't read the first two books,
right.
so there was something that I may be wrong, but I think I understood this, and I think you were misunderstanding it, but
Oh,
it's the fact that the green aliens are partnered up with another race of orange aliens that
yeah.
they use as muscle, right?
Yes.
And
Mhm.
and I was laughing because we had talked about it, and you seemed confused that sometimes the aliens were described as being green, and sometimes they were being described as orange, and like because it clearly says that the hand that she cut off was orange or something like that.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Yes.
So it wasn't sort of the like green overlord aliens. It was sort of the evil uh sidekick or like the thug aliens
Yeah.
that she had killed. But
It's basically like the
um
people that Thor gets to come with him in Ragnarok that are
yes.
also trapped in that jail. It's like the goons.
Yeah.
They're
And
not
you
Thor.
and you created and you also did a sketch which I would like to think would be the love child between the green and the orange aliens, which kind of is a mix of both features where I think they were green with orange hands or something like that, or big orange basketball head.
I
Yeah.
was very confused. I'm looking at it now, and he's got a giant knife. He's
Uh-huh.
got a green body with green eyeballs and a basketball head.
Yep.
That's what I drew. So
I
I
love
was
it.
I was very confused. So for all of you that don't know, Jason and I had lunch today.
Uh-huh.
And
I would say that most of the people listening don't know that.
oh, did I say most of you know that me and Jason had lunch today?
I think I think so. Unless
Yeah.
unless some of you guys were stalking us, in which case I am a little terrified.
On board.
Yeah.
Oh, you're terrified. I'm like, get it. No,
Oh, right.
no, I don't want to know anyone to know who I actually am.
That's right.
Um,
I did see my comic book dealer like out of
oh,
context from like five cities away, and I was like, what's he doing here? So I gotta
yeah, that
I
was
gotta
fun. And he looks nothing like the Simpsons comic book character, like owner shop
That's
guy.
right. Yeah, little bit different.
Right. Which is
Yeah.
like, I just sort of, it's such a, like, that image is burned in my brain,
Hmm.
the comic book guy from The Simpsons, that
Yeah.
every time somebody's like, oh, that's my comic book bookie. Not
Yeah.
that many people have said that to me. I just expected him to be greasy, and he was
Uh-huh.
actually a really dapper dude. Like, he
Yeah,
was, cool.
he's nice looking, but he does talk like that, and he says worst episode ever all the time.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, like the comic book guy or whatever. I'm doing a terrible impression of
Ugh.
the
This is the first edition of the Spider-Man 5.
right.
No, wait, I'm doing bad one too.
That's okay.
Oh
This
man.
I think bad impressions is a feature of our show, Jenny.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Because
that's right.
when we without the passionate screams.
That's right.
when Aehako was thought Kira was so there was a period of time where Aehako thought Kira was dead after
That's
she
right.
went to go like save the nation state
Hmm.
and was like, I will save everyone because the green dudes and the orange book like muscle dudes are looking for me and they want me.
Yeah,
So Ayako thinks she's dead, and
that's
we
right.
tried to do those impressions. No,
Come on, I'm a Hako.
no, my
I make
Ayako.
carvings of my penis.
I mean, that has to be the biggest takeaway.
It's very large.
My
Yeah.
giant
Come
peen
on, come on.
with the phalange.
I've got a spur. It's right on the top. Don't
Yeah,
worry. Don't worry. I'll tell you where that goes.
it's in your butt. Oh yeah, the butt spur confessional. That
Yeah.
was really intense for me. But
Yes.
that's my simple but really this is my like bad book report.
Hmm.
Like when you go up for, you have a presentation and then you like forget all your slides and then you
Yeah.
just start making things up because you're like, oh, I had a plan and then you lost your notes and then you lost your way on the notes. Like I've
Right.
totally been at conferences where I'm presenting and I
Hmm.
have this elaborate notes and then I
Yeah.
just start like winging it and then I lose
Yeah.
my place on the notes and then it just like it devolves into something like this, which is basically a shitstorm.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You got to throw your notes right out the window about
Yeah,
30 minutes before the thing and just go for it.
exactly. I'm throwing my notes like that song to the window to the walls.
Uh-huh.
So the sweat runs down my balls.
That's right.
Yep.
Hey, what was your favorite spicy scene of the book?
Ooh. It had to be the shower. The shower was
Hmm.
definitely my favorite one because I just, the berries, they're cleaning
Yeah.
each other off, all that stuff. I love how like there's tension and that she had just sat on the pot. Like
Yep.
they got to the ship, she's taking a shower. Like, they got to the medical ship where they're like, let's download languages. So she gets to the shower and she's like, my biggest like question was, do you think she took a dump? Because
Uh-huh.
you because the shower's steamy and
Hmm.
she's on the pot and it's been a while since she's probably had a toilet to sit
Yeah.
on. And then Ihako comes in and is like, I don't care about the smell. I'm
Yeah.
going to shower with you. But then there is still that tension, but I thought it was really funny because it's this big giant dude that clearly is hogging all the hot water, which is
Yeah.
every person's nightmare. If you have
Hmm.
one partner that doesn't like to shower with people and the
Hmm.
other partner loves to shower with you and they just take up all the space. That was my favorite. What was yours?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I think I like the part where they were in the cave, on the way to the mothership,
Oh,
and uh,
not the
and
baby moon cave adventure?
no, not that one. The one where she was like, she was like, kind of groping around and
Yeah.
did some grasping
Yeah.
at stuff, and then he was like, "Ah, please stop."
Yes. And he's like, I'm a one pump jump. I
Yeah,
can't handle it. You're too sexy. And
that
that's
was.
even before they like got down. That was like
Hmm.
right before. And then
Hmm.
what's it? Harlow, not Harlow, but Hayden's like, oh, geez.
Yeah, that was pretty early on in the story.
Yeah, for us, like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
pick some like herbs,
Hmm.
and I don't want anything to do with this guy. And then she's like, oh, I'm in a cave and I'm cold. Heck yeah, I'm
Hmm.
gonna jump on pop, hop on pop. You know what I'm saying?
That happened.
Yeah, it really
Yep.
did. I had I wanted to ask you a series of questions and
Oh,
give you
sure.
answers to choose from,
Uh-huh.
and then I would come up with the character that
Oh,
you
okay.
are, like a
Okay.
BuzzFeed article.
All right.
But I didn't prepare it.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I, I had a whole conversation with my husband, and I was
Yeah.
like, we're planning to go on vacation, so we are planning the vacation, and like the time started winding down, and I was like, I have
Yeah.
lofty goals of asking Jason what character, or asking him questions, and then being like,
Yep.
your character is Harlow. You
Yeah.
like to work on machines. Maybe next time.
Yeah. I think so. I think that works out.
Yeah, who is your favorite character?
Oh, hi. I think I kind of have to go with Aehako. I mean, I think he's definitely the most interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kira's sort of a point of view character, and I mean, we get both of their point of views, um, but I think Kira's supposed to be more relatable to the audience,
Mm-hmm.
and so she's a little bit more of a blank slate. Um, she's I mean, she obviously has an internal conflict and some tension, but other than that,
And
I don't
chlamydia.
think right. But I don't think there's much there. Um, so I have to go with Aehako.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if any of the other. I don't know if any of the other characters really stood out, except for Hayden Harlow.
Yeah.
And I think we do get a point of view chapter from Harlow.
Oh, that's right. That one was cool.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. Yeah.
yeah. And I did read some synopses of other books around this one.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I read synopses for books 1, 2, and 4.
Break it down for me, Jay.
I think there is I think I saw that there's 21 books in this series.
What?
And I don't think I'm not sure if they're all available in like physical format. But I know that I think they're going through and releasing them in this in the what did we have? We had like the special edition format. You
Yes.
know, I
That's
don't
why we got
think
the honeymoon.
yeah, I think there are several that are available in like the old original printing, but not in and not in a special edition. So I don't know if they're planning on re-releasing all of them in a special edition format, but
I
but
think Dixon wants to release a lot. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah, Dixon releases. Let me tell you.
Dixon releases, and
Yeah.
that's the episode title.
Hmm.
My
Um,
Dixie wrecked. What? No?
what?
My Dixie wrecked?
Hmm.
Like I
That's
got a
right.
letter in the mail once that was MY, my
Uh-huh.
Dixie,
Uh-huh.
Dixie. Uh-oh, I'm spelling out loud. Wrecked.
Ah,
My
okay.
Dixie wrecked.
I see. I see.
Anyways, I
You
know.
got that in the mail?
I did get a letter in the mail. It was from an ex-boyfriend. Anyway,
Oh, I see. Okay.
that's a story for another time.
Was it the same guy who made you a mixtape
No.
of Gregorian chants?
Masonic um bowl chants. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Uh-huh. No,
yeah.
this is somebody I was actually dating, and he sent me a letter, and that was who it was from. It was from Dixie Wrecked.
Oh, so did he? Oh, God, I have so many questions.
Yeah.
So wait, was this like during the relationship he sent it to you as a joke, like a funny joke, or was this after you broke up and he was trying to like troll you or something?
No, we were together for a hot 12 months.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was he was off to school, and
Ah,
he would write letters because that was
uh-huh.
fun, I guess. And
Right.
then he would just write really random things.
Was this your prison pen pal?
How did you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was so excited when he got out.
Yeah.
And now he's back in.
That's right.
And then he went out again. And then he
Yeah.
got back,
Yeah.
Dixie. Anyway, but yeah,
Yeah.
so you were gonna break down for your feelings overall, but then you were
Yeah.
also gonna describe like kind of like fill us in on the other parts of the series, right?
Yeah, just really quick, and I think this is all correct. But I haven't read the book, so I can't confirm.
Yeah.
But I believe the first book centers around Georgie.
Oh, okay.
Georgie and her boyfriend's name is Vecna or something like that, and I can't
Oh,
exactly
Vectal.
remember. Yeah, he Vectal or what is it Vectal?
I
Vectal?
think it's
Yeah,
Vectal.
he's
Rectal.
the yeah, he's like the kind of the chief. They're kind of like the two leaders of the groups. Like Georgie's said to be the leader of the Earth females. I
Oh,
don't know what makes her the leader. I guess you have to read
boobs.
that book. Oh, boobs.
Boobs.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
If anybody
That's
anybody
how
out there, giant boobs.
that's how we pick our leadership here.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
And
biggest
then
boob.
book two is Liz, and I can't for the life of me remember who Liz is hooked up with. But if you recall, Liz is the one who told Aehako
Yes.
that he needs to give Kira a courting gift.
That Earth girls love whittled penises.
Yeah, so apparently that is set up in book two.
What?
Something about that's set up. I don't know exactly like what she tells him. Like I don't know if she specifically says, "Hey, whittle a carving of your bone out of bone," and
Your unit, as you
yeah,
once said.
and but apparently that is set up in book two and pays off in this book.
Oh, it pays off
Yeah.
in spades. Like that was great. It was that moment of the courting
Oh,
gift
oh
and
yeah.
and the shower scene. Oh, I really did enjoy the action at the end though.
Mhm.
Like the space, the what is it? The I'm not just trying to be gross, but
Mhm.
what did they teach us in school? The climax of the book.
Oh, right. Yes. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm totally trying
Yeah.
to say it in a non-gross way, but it's
Yeah.
just coming off that way.
Rising action.
Rising action.
Yeah.
And yeah, it kind of drops off after that
Mhm.
the quick fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have I have I have some thoughts on that
Ooh.
and I got I based on some other reviews that I've read and
Ooh.
listened to from a podcast. So we'll get into it. But
Okay.
the fourth book, the book after this, I know centers around Harlow. Um, and
She's
and
alive.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert, Harlow's alive, and
Oh.
she has her own thing going on, and I don't know exactly what's going on, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but
Yeah.
uh I may yeah so this is really interesting. We have other books. I think I want to not talk about the new book that we've picked out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think we should leave that leave
For
that tease for later.
okay.
But
You're such a tease,
yeah,
Jason.
I know.
Stop being such a
But
tease.
but but at some point, I think I want to revisit this series. Maybe just listening to the audiobooks to kind of get get some more of the story. At least books one and two, and probably book four.
Yeah.
The other detail that I found out is that there are other variations of aliens. I don't know if they are like Sakui who have evolved in a different way,
Yeah.
but I've seen a lot of fan art that kind of is not just the 7 foot blue aliens.
That
So
ooh.
so
Okay.
I don't know when those when those characters come into play. I don't know if that's like way down the road or if that comes shortly after this. But we know because we've been introduced to the characters from books one and two, and I know that those are just the blue Sakui dudes.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of how it starts out, and it sounds like there's some other guys that get into the mix.
You know what? So I I have an idea of what like I would want to see in a follow-up book
Uh-huh.
to all of this. Do you have any one character that you would really want to like hear more about their story?
And this may be my male point of view, but
Mm-hmm.
and
Gross.
I've yeah I at a certain point I was wondering if any of the Earthlings, the group of Earthlings, were men, right?
Mm.
So I think it would be interesting for a man to get together with a woman. Obviously, the only woman that we're really introduced to, other than
That
either children or or older people. But there's oh man, what's her name? The one who's
Asha.
Asha. Yeah, yeah, like an Earth guy gets with Asha or something like that. I think that would be interesting. But
I want to see
that's
like
yeah.
like Ahako's courting gift, the
Uh-huh.
whittled dick, like goes to New York
Oh, oh, right. Okay.
and
Yeah.
has kind of like a oh like like
Hmm.
gets caught up in all this chaos like just as like just the whittled like it becomes like an actual being of sorts
Uh-huh.
and it like talks I just want to see it
Mhm.
like people's reaction to this blue dick with a phalange walking around like a big city. Maybe he like throws his hat up in the air and is like
Yeah.
very Mary Tyler Moore
hmm
sort of thing.
Or
Mhm.
or he goes to Washington D.C., gets into politics, a little bit of like a Mr. Smith goes to Washington type thing, like Whittle Dick goes to Washington.
Oh, Whittle Dick goes to Washington.
Yeah,
Write that down. That's
that's right.
amazing.
Okay, I'm writing that down. No
Whittle Dick.
one, no one steal that idea.
Oh, I should make the movie poster.
That's right.
Whittle Dick goes to Washington.
Yep.
Maybe we can write it like it's the Whittle Dick goes to Washington.
Oh, oh,
The Whittle Dick.
yeah.
But yes, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for wrapping that up. Are you so I hear you have a review for us.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to sort of give my thoughts. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked Barbarian Lover.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to rate this book. I would give it a four stars out of five.
Mm.
I don't know if that rating might change the more I read books from this genre, because this is
Mm-hmm.
the first book in this genre that I've ever read.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it was an easy read. It was a fun read. I think if I had like more time, I could knock it out in a weekend. And I've heard other people say that in their reviews that that it's a quick read.
Yeah.
You could read it pretty easily.
Much
Um,
like Aihako's
yeah,
ability to jism, it's quick.
that's right. That's right.
No,
Um,
is that what you were saying? You were listening to another like you were listening to a review of it.
yeah.
And did they that's what they said. They said it was a good romp, a quick read.
Yeah, yeah. No, I did. I listened to a couple of podcasts. One was very positive and sort of echoed, my sentiments.
Mm.
Um, the other podcast was a little more negative. I do
Ooh.
have to preface it by saying that they liked it. They thought it was great, but there was one part of they had one major complaint, and it really dominated their discussion. So,
Oh.
like, I really came away thinking it was a negative review, but I do have to preface it by saying that they started out by saying overall they liked it.
Oh, good.
But
What they have to say.
their major gripe, and I think this is valid, and it is something that I sort of picked up on,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't really. It wasn't really something that colored my opinion of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Kira constantly measured her self-worth and worthiness of love on her ability or lack of ability to bear children.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see that. Yep.
yeah,
It's very much I mean everyone should be a feminist because that just means you believe in equal rights for women. But
uh-huh.
anyway, I
Sure,
stand on my art student soapbox for just 1 second.
uh-huh.
Um, but I think it's very much like women shouldn't feel like having children is what determines their worth.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get
No,
that.
and and I they never really said this, but
Mhm.
it is addressed in the book. And
Mhm.
Aehako says, like, no, that's not how we value people.
Correct.
It does give Aehako the opportunity to like show his virtue in that way, that he's not, that's not how he values her. That's not a factor in his being in love with her.
Yeah.
And I was willing to go with it. I'm new to this genre, you know, but at the end of the day, this book is about sex, and fertility is directly related to that.
Oh, Jason, so
So
you only do that to procreate then?
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, I just meant that
That was mean of me. That was I reeled you in.
right.
That was
It's a
can
trap.
it's a trap. It's a trap. Tell me what women are worth.
Yeah.
What's my
Um
purpose?
right, right. But I'm just saying, like, if you're going to have a central or a internal conflict with a character and it's related to sex, then
Hmm.
fertility makes sense.
Yeah.
I
And she's also very young. And
yeah,
it was like an accident. So I get it.
yeah,
Like if I'm in my early 20s and I'm not sure if I want to have kids one day, but then I really realize that I can't, it's
yeah,
that would be that'd be a bummer.
yeah.
Be a
So
bummer.
I mean, giving Ruby Dixon the benefit of the doubt, it's definitely not the that's definitely not the message of the book.
No,
But I also kind of
it's
think
cave
that,
sex.
yeah, no, yeah. So the fantasy is that you're a woman from Earth and you've landed on a planet that's populated by virile male aliens who want to save their species. And there's no there's barely any female aliens. So I get that like if that's the fantasy, then it's all about fertility, uh,
Right.
you know.
It's
Um,
yeah, they do preface
so
it with like we're a depleting group of people and
yeah,
we need to mate with the humans
yeah,
in order to save our whole community. No, you're definitely right. And so
yeah,
it might be annoying to I could see how it's annoying to like lady readers
hmm
that like it's kind of like, oh come on, girl, you don't need to have like kids. But you're Ruby Dixon
yeah,
does a good job by like Aehako saying like, no, man, you don't need that. Do we cast out the elderly because they can't
yeah.
have kids? No,
Exactly. That's
they
literally
certainly
how
don't.
it's literally how it's addressed in the book. And so I think to be fair, I think it's addressed and it's not meant to be the message of the book. Um,
No.
but there was one thing that I thought was interesting
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about this a couple of times.
And at
Early,
lunch.
yeah, yeah. Well, early on, you had said that, or that you had predicted that they wouldn't actually resonate, but they would fall in love despite not resonating,
Correct.
which didn't happen.
No.
But I'm wondering, or I wanted to ask you, do you think that would have made for a more interesting story than the fact that she was healed by the Kui, resonated, and ended up
I
uh,
think
having a
that,
child or conceiving?
that's a good question because I
Hmm.
think that if the resonating hadn't happened
Yeah,
and she got knocked up anyway, I feel and still loved Daihako regardless, I feel like
right.
that would have been more of like a free will situation.
Yeah,
Even though they were talking about like resonation or resonating isn't like you still kind of have a choice.
yeah.
Um, I actually don't know if it would have made that much of a difference.
Hmm.
Maybe they could have like kind of extended that whole tension between Kira and Asha
Hmm.
and like maybe they could have kept held on to that a little bit longer.
Hmm.
It would have I think it's fine. I
Hmm.
really wasn't bothered by it. I'm like, I don't know if it really would have made a difference.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
if she had resonated with like more than Aehako, you know what I'm saying?
oh,
What if she
well,
resonated with Asha? Ooh.
oh,
Oh, maybe
mm,
Harlow and Asha should get together.
there you go.
Yeah, do it.
Um, but here's where I landed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been more interesting, and here's
Oh,
and here's why.
okay.
Because this is book three, right?
Uh-huh.
So, and I'm just making an assumption, but I'm assuming that we've already had two books where the male and the female protagonists resonated, and
Uh-huh.
and they talk about that they're all pregnant, right? So this would have been a departure from what has already happened with those other characters in the previous two books.
Yep. I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. No,
Hmm.
yeah, it adds like a layer, a
Hmm.
layer of like we don't need to resonate. Maybe they should have pulled out their cooies
Yeah.
and
I'll
I,
show you mine if you show me yours.
I see that you also have a cooey and
Yeah,
it is as big as mine.
that's right.
Bad Spaceball reference, but
Hmm.
whatever. What are you gonna do?
I recognized it.
Did you?
Oh yeah,
I see that you have the Schwartz.
yeah.
It's
Your
great.
Schwartz is as big as mine.
Well,
Yeah.
I do have to say that even though there are those more serious kind of like legitimate critiques, that the
Yeah.
thirst review that I read online is
Hmm.
this person enjoyed it
Oh, good.
big time.
Nice.
If you want me to read it to you, I can.
Yeah, please, let's hear it.
Okay, this is a
Yeah.
verified purchase.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
loved it. Please, please, please send me one of my very own Aehako or me to him, please. He was the
Mm.
perfect blend of wise and funny, sweet and flirty, strong and alpha, and always seemed to know what his girl needed. Giggles, though not sure about that courting gift. Even letting her take the lead when needed, and yet never came off too dominate and or dominant. Dominate? whatever, and never felt weak.
Hmm.
From his soft blue skin to his yummy body and swishing tail, I would, oh, what did she say? I'd have loved to seen Kira get to play with that more, the tail. I
Oh,
know I would have, to his cock and
oh,
its wonderful purring. That felt so gross coming out of my mouth.
oh, yeah.
Gross. It didn't, anyway, that that sounded bad too. But it goes on. It's
Huh?
basically like she is like thirsty. Like she, was just
Wow.
she was into it. But
Yep.
I guess, she likes
Yeah.
saying the COCK word. But
Yeah.
she was like, oh, other things she was saying, it's like Liz can be. Oh, hold on. Anyway, but she just goes on to be like, I just absolutely want more of this. Oh, this is the word I was looking for. I'm not saying I want to live in a cave on a frozen planet, girl.
Uh-huh.
To find love, but with a sexy, soft, blue, yummy built alien like Aehako with a tail and purrs at me like he says is good in the furs, grins.
Mm.
How can I not? I don't understand, good in the furs.
Hmm.
So she even talks about that. I'm not so
Nice.
sure. Well, I don't know if this is a she. I shouldn't gender this person, but like,
Huh?
um, oh, they're yeah, never mind. They have a funny little username. It's literally Y. That's their
Hmm.
username. I
Nice.
just thought it was funny because she mentions the courting gift, good in the furs, and then she also mentions his phalange, and she
Nice.
is like about it. So I think this
Yeah.
person probably reads a lot of romance novels and like was into the weirdness that is this one. I
Hmm.
can understand that. But yeah, she was
Yeah.
she was happy about it.
Hmm.
She thanks Ruby. So that's,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
everybody's got a genre. And
Yeah.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah. I also found an Amazon review
Ooh,
that I wanted to share.
great.
Yeah, it's a negative review
Go for it. I love it.
from JP040716.
Oh, you're much
JP
better at this
JP
than I am.
040716. I know you're listening.
Yep. Hey, that's me.
And the title of the review is Last Book in the Series I'll Be Reading.
Ooh, spicy.
After a good book one, the next two just haven't been worth the time. The
Oh no.
heroine was a pill, a total Eeyore.
No.
Liked the hero and his playful innocence, but Kira just killed the story. And
Oh.
the dialogue with the evil aliens was just painfully bad. Not to mention the whole thing with the Elder Cave space machine thing that totally jumped the shark.
Dude, no.
Granted, the whole concept jumped a whale, but was it at least enjoyable and a fun way to suspend disbelief for the cause of a good story, but that's been exhausted.
What? The
So there you
spaceship was
go.
the best part.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree with this 157309 person. It's okay. I don't know. I don't have to talk to them.
So, but they bring up a good point that I heard in a couple of other different places.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, I thought so the first half is basically building up to this confrontation with the aliens,
Yeah.
and I liked the action, I liked all that tension. But for a lot of people, a lot of reviews that I read, including this one, basically uh, said that part they sort of felt that part was more of a barrier to the love story, right? That
What?
they thought that part should be, left out. And I think it was one of the podcasts I listened to, one of the reviews that I heard on a podcast, or it might have been I did listen to a couple of like Instagram videos,
Yeah.
and some of them basically said, well, this was to wrap up or tie a loose end off from like the first book, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
the aliens hadn't been defeated, they could come back. So what they did was Ruby Dixon threw this in there so that they could resolve the whole question about the green aliens and then move on with the running around in the caves and grabbing Blue Tail and stuff.
Oh, I always want to grab Blue Tail.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's just
that's
it's
right.
swinging around. No, I think it needed that. I liked it. I thought it
Yeah,
was cool.
I did too. I mean, that was more in line with the types of, the other books that I've read. But obviously, more of the mainstream science fiction and science fiction fantasy that I've read sort of focuses more on the action than, than this book did. And I got it. I understood. I sort of understood the assignment there,
Yeah,
and so I wasn't shocked that storyline was secondary to the love story.
true. I
Yeah.
mean, the pizza guy in the porn has to come at
That's
some
right.
point. So, like, are you going to be mad at the pizza?
That's right.
There's got to have some. You can't just hump in a cave all day.
But right, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
I liked it. Well,
I think so.
I literally, what are the kids? Lulled,
Uh-huh.
LOL'd when she basically let off that big fart, that
Uh-huh.
big stink machine in the
That's right.
ship, killed everybody, chopped off the guy's hand, and basically like flew herself back down to the planet. I thought that was a romp. I
Yeah, she
enjoyed it.
she did the full John McClane.
Jo- yes,
That's
yes.
right.
Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
Is that was it, his name is Hans Gruber?
Hans Gruber, yeah, the villain, yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Hans, good old Gruber, man.
yep.
Yep, she did. She was like, I regret nothing.
Heck yeah.
Oh, Aehako.
I did have
Yeah.
one other thing that I wanted to mention.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, we talked a little bit about comparing this to other, science fiction fantasy,
Yeah.
and while I was reading, I was sort of drawing a comparison or more of a contrast to a book that I've read twice.
Ooh.
Um, it's a book called The Princess of Mars, and it's written by Edgar Rice Burroughs. Now, I
Oh.
don't think Ruby Dixon drew any inspiration from this book, but in my
Uh-huh.
mind, I couldn't help but compare and contrast, and in my mind it was more of a dichotomy of how this this genre or science fiction genre is written for the male audience versus how it's written for the female audience.
Oh.
um
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've ever seen the movie adaptation of the book. It's called John Carter. It came out probably about 10 years ago. I can't recommend it. It's really kind of slow and boring.
Oh, isn't
Like,
it Disney movie?
yeah, it was by Disney. I really like the soundtrack. There's a lot of there's some parts of the movie that I really like, and I wish they hadn't I wish they hadn't
Made it
shit
poop on itself?
yeah, shit the bed, because it would have been interesting to see, because there's I think there's like 11 books in that series, and they could have made a handful of movies. But
Oh.
yeah, so it's about a man from Earth who is stranded on Mars and falls in love with a beautiful Martian woman who has red skin.
Oh,
Um,
wait,
you
this is
know,
John Carter? No,
this
this
is
is something different, right?
yeah, it's called the Princess of Mars. But yeah, the
Oh,
movie John Carter is the same story and adaptation.
got it. Okay, okay, okay.
And so the actual content of the story is all about the action and him being a hero and saving her from peril.
Uh-huh.
The sex is only implied, and
Oh.
mostly by the cover, because it's muscle bound guy, holding his sword aloft while a
Ooh.
sexy woman, holds on to his legs. Um,
I'm looking
by
up
the
at
artist Frank Frazetta. Yeah, look up the Frank Frazetta cover.
Oh. It almost looks like a Conan Barbarian thing, like with Arnold
It
Schwarzenegger.
it is. It's totally that same sort of genre. Of course, the writer is different. Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote Tarzan. He's mostly known for writing Tarzan.
Okay.
Um, but anyway, yeah, it's about a man, an Earthman who he sort of has an advantage in physical fights,
Uh-huh.
because he's used to the heavier gravity on Earth, and so when he goes to Mars, he's agile and he can jump and he can fight bigger opponents
Oh,
because
yeah.
he's from Earth. But it's sort of like the action in that is based on like physical sword fights and war and stuff like that, and and that's how he saves his princess, how he saves his love, and then
Oh,
in contrast to Kira, who sort of outwits the aliens, like she's not using brute force. I mean, she does shoot one in the head or something like that, but
yeah.
but for the most part, she defeats them by outwitting them, by bringing the pathogen onto their ship,
Yeah.
and then they basically die of because they've been exposed to this pathogen, and she's the hero. She saves the day. She saves Aehako twice. Once with the aliens, and then the other one is when he doesn't come back from the hunt, and she goes out
Yeah. Tries to find him.
finds him, and brings him back to shelter and stuff. And
That's
so
right. And that's when he's
yeah,
like, oh, what did he like? Oh, wait, no, that wasn't the time where he was like, I resulted to just live with my hand.
yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Well, I think that was that's how he felt before she landed on his planet, right? That
Yes.
he was resigned to the companionship of his own hand.
Yeah.
My favorite phrase, my favorite quote
Yeah.
from the book.
Oh, that's your favorite quote from the book? I know my favorite
Yeah.
quote from the book. Like, I know it for
Balls.
sure.
Isn't it balls?
Yes, it's balls.
Oh, I know you too well, Jenny.
Balls.
Yep.
Yep, that was my favorite part. That's when she was in the cave and he was a one pump chump, and then he
Yeah.
just it was like balls.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. I maybe that's another movie I need to see.
Mhm.
Um, is that Princess? No, John Wick. No, what is it? John Carter?
It's called John Carter, yeah, which is a really bad name for a movie. Like no one's gonna see that title and think like, oh, that sounds interesting. Like it's
No.
just a random name of some dude, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Book Chub.
Is this about Jimmy Carter's brother or something?
Oh, rest in
R.I.P.
peace, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. No, it's right. Yeah, it definitely was like a different way of looking at or like different ways of like how women can feel powerful and hopeful and kick ass and be
Right.
like, G.I. Jane up on this planet.
Right. Right.
Love it. It's good
Mhm.
stuff. No, I look forward to the to learning about more. I mean, this is probably the 13th book I've read.
Mhm.
So, I'm looking forward to number 14.
Yep, there's gonna be many others.
Can't wait. It's gonna be
All very spicy.
Mhm. Well, Jason, may your whittled nope, not coming out the way I wanted it to. Nope, it certainly isn't. I just hope that you this weekend will find lots of whittled things.
Thank you,
The whittled
Jenny.
be with you.
Absolutely.
Good times.
Hey, Chubbers. Aaron here. We want to hear from you. So send us your book recommendations to bookchubpod@gmail.com. That's BOOKCHUBPOD@gmail.com. Mwah.
In a world of stars, I stand tall, a blue giant in a world so small, with fear and strength, but a heart that yearns for a love so real. In the fire it burns. In this cosmic dance, our worlds collide, bound by love.